The insurance company is obligated to fix your home to the condition it was before the storm happened.
Was.
Right. They don't. Their responsibility isn't to do upgrades. Their responsibility isn't to make it prettier than it was. Their job is to replace it to the condition it was before the storm happened. Period. End of sentence. That's the responsibility of the insurance company.
And you don't even have to fix it if you don't want.
You don't have to. It'd be a really bad idea.
But it devalues your home.
So that's a good point. So when we worked at Lindus back in the day, they didn't really have what's called depreciation. So we should probably talk about it a little bit.
Correct. They did not.
So
that is the most confusing thing for a homeowner.
Correct.
When they get a claim, and a claim form is, they don't know what that is.
They don't know what that is. So let's talk about
actual cash value,
recoverable
depreciation.
Right.
Okay.
So let's talk about that for a second. So back when we were at Lindus, they didn't have what's called depreciation. Depreciation is basically an insurance mechanism to make sure that you do the job.
And I was going to say, why do you think they started doing depreciation?
Because when we were back at Lindus, we had a storm come through, and people would fix their homes, or kind of fix their homes, take all the money, go buy snowmobiles, boats, jet skis, four-wheelers, cars, and they either didn't fix their house or they fixed it halfway.
So basically, the insurance company would come in and say, okay, your roof is damaged, your siding is damaged, and to replace this, it's going to cost $40,000. So your deductible is $1,000. So here's a check for $39,000.
$39,000, and people thought they had the jackpot.
Right. And then some homeowners would say, well, you know what? My siding's really not that bad.
Correct.
So I think I'll just fix the roof. And then
I really wanted a four-wheeler.
Yeah, we're going to buy a new four-wheeler, or maybe two of them.
Right.
And then they don't fix the siding.
Correct.
Well, so insurance companies got smart to that, and we're like,
so now they have a thing
we're
called
only going to pay you if you fix it.
So now they have a thing that's called the depreciation. So you still have that $40,000 claim.
Yep.
Right? But let's say your siding or your roof is, let's say it's 15 years old. So they may say your value of this repair is $40,000, but we're only going to give you 20 of it.
Because that's what it's actually worth.
Correct. So they hold $20,000 of the depreciation, right? And once the job is done and completed, and the contractor shows that you did the work for $40,000, then they release the $20,000.
And I like to put it this way to homeowners. They depreciate it because everything you have has a life cycle.
Correct.
Right? So let's say that they valued it at 30, life cycle's 30 years or 20 years or whatever it was. Your home was, your siding and roof was devalued by $20,000.
Right.
Because that's really what it's worth, because it's been on your house for a while. So we'll give you $20,000. If you want to take a trip to Disney World, go for it.
Right.
Now, you want to file a claim on that again, you're out of luck.
You're out of luck.
Because you didn't fix it the first time.
If it gets wrecked next time and it leaks and you have problems and now you have bigger problems,
which is most likely what
they're going to say, hey, we paid to fix it. You didn't fix it. I'm sorry, but you're on your own.
So recoverable depreciation is not coming to you until you fix it. Show them invoices that it was done.
Done. Correct. Now, the question always comes up, what if I can find a way to get it done cheaper? So let's say your insurance company says, hey, this claim, we think it's worth $40,000, right? And they hold 20, but you find Jimmy, that's the guy at the local tavern, that says I can do it for 30.
Tank Top Ted?
Tank Top Teddy, yep, that's it.
Toolbox Timmy?
But guess what you get to do? Guess what the insurance company is going to get paid for at that point? If he shows a receipt for $30,000, you're only getting $30,000. You don't get to make money off the insurance. So I tell people, when it comes to insurance, the insurance company is responsible for repairing the home to condition it was before the storm happened.
Yes.
Take that money, do it right, don't cut corners. And if you want to upgrade at that point, that's the perfect time to do it.
Wouldn't it be a perfect time to upgrade? Like get something better, like an upgraded shingle
for almost
roof,
free,
for a little bit extra?
Correct.
Because then as far as I've seen, 99% of all insurance policies are replacement value.
Yes.
Right? So if we upgrade at the time, say I've got just a normal 3-tab shingle, it's 15 years old, it gets damaged. Now I choose a good contractor, and they say, well, I can do an upgraded roof, but that's going to cost $25,000. And say I spend $10,000 or $5,000 out of pocket, I can upgrade. Now, if that gets damaged again,
correct,
now the insurance company has to pay for that roof.
Right, because they got to repair the roof into condition it was before the storm happened.
It's a perfect time.
Perfect time to do it. And very rarely can you get the roof of your dreams or the siding or whatever it is that got damaged for pennies on a dollar.
No.
Right? If the insurance company is going to give you $40,000 to get this roof done the right way, and I say, "Hey, I would like, I really like those shingles that look nice, or maybe a little an impact resistant
You go
shingle, right?
synthetic.
You go synthetic, a lot of different options to upgrade, and it costs you 5-6 grand out of pocket, or maybe 10 grand, maybe depending on what you want to do. That's the cheapest 10 grand you're ever going to spend.
Correct.
But now, instead of that roof being 40,000, if it happened again, now it's worth 50 if you stuck $10,000 into it. So people are always confused on what is depreciation, what's the actual cash value, that kind of stuff. And that's where a good contractor that sits down with you
Yeah.
and explains the details matter. Because there's a lot of contractors that want to just come in, get the business. They don't care about what you know or don't know. They just want to do the work and be gone.
Yeah, I used to have a saying that when there was a little hook, you talked about the
Yep.
hook on the radar in the
Yep.
storms. That hook was like a fishing hook, and it created a line. Contractors coming from down south,
Yep.
straight to our area. I mean, there were times that we'd have hail come through, and I'm telling you, it hadn't even hardly stopped hailing, and I get into a neighborhood because we'd have a customer call us right away, and there were vehicles from all over already. Because again, and I'm not going to sit here and say that they're all bad, because they're not, but they're coming to make a quick dollar,
Right.
and that's what they and that people have to understand. Unless that hail like legitimately goes through your roof,
Right.
because that has happened. I
Mhm.
mean, I've seen pictures of softball size hail that ended up in someone's living room. Unless that hail goes through your roof's not gonna leak tomorrow.
Correct.
It's not gonna leak in a week. It's not gonna leak in a month. It might not even leak in a year. But what it's doing, what exactly is happening when that hits the roof?
So
really hard?
it's damaging that fiberglass mat. It's fracturing the mat, and at that point, it's never going to heal itself. So some shingles are basically dying an accelerated death at that point,
You're gonna lose the shingle rock. You're gonna lose the rock,
which is
granules
which is
sooner.
the protectant to that shingle, and now you have no protection on that roof, and
So-
it's going to die fast.
It's going to make your roof age faster than it was going to before. It's not necessarily going to make it leak tomorrow. So just remember this, Shane. When you get to be a little older and you buy your first house, actually, I think you're looking for houses right now, right? Kind of, yeah. When you're not flying around buying cars. No, I get it.
Oh, to be 21 again.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. I'd do it differently. I wouldn't be such an idiot. But anyway,
Challenge accepted.
challenge accepted. People need to understand that when a storm hits your area and all those contractors are coming from different states and they're pressuring you, you need to get this done. You don't. You can wait.
Yep.
The first thing you should do is what? File a claim.
File a claim.
If you think you have damage, file a claim.
Mhm.
People think if they file a claim that their insurance will go up, and that is not
the
true.
case. Nope.
That is not true at all. You file the claim, you get it on record that, hey, we had hail. I
Mhm.
believe we have damage. We need an adjuster to come out.
Correct.
And then you find a contract.
Right.
And I will always say, find a contractor that's local.
Correct.
That you know is going to do a good job. You might have to wait for that person,
Yep.
but that's okay.
If someone can do it tomorrow, and they're
That is a problem.
that's a red flag, right? People talk about what are red flags for storm damage contractors. If they're saying, "Hey, I want to do this job next week," and the insurance company hasn't even been there yet, or even if they're doing jobs that fast, their only goal is to get them done fast,
And get out.
get out, and guess who's going to lose? The homeowner, because the experience that we always talk about, the experience isn't what you're expecting.
Yep. We've replaced some roofs that were last replaced because of a storm, and it's pretty scary
It is
because they will come in and they will. I'm not saying that again.
not all.
Not all of them. There's some really good companies that do storm restoration work, but a lot of them that come in as soon as that storm is done and bring roofers with them and they want to get it done immediately. It's not necessary.
Right.
It's just not.
No, there's no unless you have parts of your roof missing.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, wind could be more severe, right? Where
Correct,
you
than
actually
hail.
are missing shingles.
Shingles, right?
Hail is, again, it's going to speed up the death of your roof.
Correct.
And insurance companies know that, and it needs to be replaced.
Right.
You know, one of the biggest when you go to sell a house and you have it inspected, like literally the first thing that every home inspector looks at is
Up on the roof.
that's a roof.
Right.
That's the first thing that they look at because it's a big fix.
It's a liability if it's done wrong.
your roof leaks, you're talking about way more damage than just your shingles, and it's expensive. So it's the very, very, very first place they look. When I bought my last house, it was covered in snow.
Never looked at it.
Never looked at it. Guess what?
It was
When
bad.
the snow melted, it was shot.
Good thing you know a good roofer.
And I do roofs.
Okay. Good thing you know a good roofer.
And I was like, it was too steep, too high. I'm sure it's fine.
Right.
No, it was shot.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah. And so people always ask, what do we do? My thing is slow down. Don't rush.
Yeah,
just take your time, right?
Weather the storm.
Correct, right? We're not dealing with Hurricane Ian type effects here in Wisconsin. That's not our deal.
No.
So, and the other part is you should be interviewing contractors. It should be an honor for them to work on your house, not something that they expect to do.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, myself, and I know your family here at Larson's the same thing. It's an honor to work on people's houses. It's something that we take pride in. And if that contractor doesn't have that same feel, yeah, just because you have storm damage doesn't mean they deserve the work.
Right.
It should be an honor for them to work on your house.
Right.
So
also, if they come in and they try to force you to sign, remember this, Shane, when you buy a house, they're trying to get you to sign a contingency contract on the spot right away. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
There's no reason to do it because you could do it whenever. Have your insurance agent come out, file the claim.
Most people, other than storm damage, they don't typically have to do roofing project in their life, so they don't know what to expect, right? And I honestly think
most people really don't know what to expect.
No.
With storm damage,
and you should interview contractors like you're interviewing for a job. You don't typically. You shouldn't hire the first contractor that comes out unless it's something, okay, good, this is exactly the experience I'm looking for. I get the great feeling. I know exactly what's going to happen. The details are very well laid out. Like, there's no gray area. Okay, then maybe. But a lot of times when you compare 3 contractors or 4 contractors, and you're going to see someone of those 3 or 4 that's going to rise above and you say, okay, that's the guy for me.
Yeah.
And that's really the key is when you find that person, it's kind of like when I talk about taking my daughter to visit colleges, you're going to know when you find the college, right? You're going to walk in there and you go, this is the place for me. Same thing with contractors. You're going to say, you know what? This contractor has my best interest in mind. We're in a relationship. We're in a business relationship where they have to do the work on my home the right way. I'm going to pay them, but along the way, we're going to have some fun. It's going to be enjoyable. And when it's done, I'm going to thank them for taking care of my house, and they're going to thank me for the opportunity to work on their house.
Absolutely.
And when that relationship happens, life is good.
Yep. Let's recap real quick. Storm damage. First thing you do if you've wind damage or storm damage.
Go file your claim.
File a claim.
Yep. Get your contractors out there. Interview them.
Start looking for contractor.
Yep. And don't rush to get this. Don't rush to make a decision.
I would personally say make sure they're local. Now, depending on the size and the severity of the storm, out of area contractors sometimes they're needed.
Yep.
Like they're needed to fix all of the homes. But for the most part, I would try to stay local because especially with hail damage, it's not typically something that you need to worry about right away.
Correct.
It's not going to make your house leak immediately.
The next step is to inspect.
Well, let me ask you, hey, when did your hailstorm happen?
April.
Are you still getting people that are calling
We're
right
still
now?
getting people that call that still haven't had the thing filed with their insurance company yet.
They waited. And they're fine.
They're fine. And guess what? They're not stressed.
No.
It's amazing, right? And those are the ones and they're probably going to be the happiest because they didn't rush to a decision. They didn't rush to get a job done. And that leads to my next thing is inspect what you expect, right? Because you want to make sure that you want to know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and we talk about the recipe, right? What is the service after the sale if you need it?
Yep.
That becomes the key.
Yep. And if you rush to go with somebody out of town, I mean, they're literally not going to answer the phone.
No.
They're gone.
Right.
Poof.
Yeah.
They're gone. Anyway,
right.
It just came to my
head. It's a scary place there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it is. So don't rush. Do your homework.
Yeah. And it should be enjoyable. Just because you had a hailstorm doesn't mean it has to be stressful, anguish, my anxiety level's up. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, just kick back, have a cocktail, and enjoy watching all your neighbors stress out. Just
Correct. Pick the right guys, and
Yeah,
it makes it
exactly.
easier.
Exactly. So, well, I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's it for the show today.